in this video. If you haven't warmed up yet, take a second and do some exercises before you begin. Do some 4-finger exercises, strum some chords, rub your hands and your wrists and warm up the joints. Help prevent from any strain or potential injury. Otherwise, let's get started. Now, most of all the chords in this song have been covered in previous videos. I think. Not gonna lie, it's been a while since I've looked at it. But if there are any chords you don't recognize or that we haven't done yet or you're struggling with, just follow the same principles that we've practiced before on how to deal with a new chord that we haven't played yet. Like we've talked about in previous videos, take the part that's difficult, break it down, work on the fingering slowly, play the chords at a slower tempo, and then build it into the song. Now, I know what you're going to say once we get going. This sounds nothing like Wonderwall. And you're right. This is going to be the simple strumming version of this song. We are going to be concentrating on the left hand, or the fretting hand in case you're left-handed. Our right hand will just be strumming downstrokes on the quarter note. Following this video will be a lesson on more syncopated strumming, and we'll focus on how to play this song with the proper strumming pattern. If you're comfortable with the chords of Wonderwall and really struggle with the strumming, go ahead and check that video out. For now, we work on the left hand. Alright, to start us off, we're going to look at the first 4 bars of the song. Those 4 bars are going to continue on into the verse, and they're the same 4 chords that we've been kind of looking at the last few lessons. Again, with our right hand, we're just going to be strumming downstrokes, and that's going to be to the quarter note of the song, just the downbeat. Fairly slow tempo just to start, but here's a quick review of those first 4 chords. So the chords in order are E minor 7, G, D sus4, and A sus4. We won't go into why they are called that. The only thing you need to know right now is that your 3rd and 4th finger stay planted on the 3rd fret of the B and E string. So these 2 fingers don't move for the whole sequence, and actually they stay put for pretty much the whole song. Meanwhile, these 2 fingers do all the moving. So with these 2 fingers planted, you make an E minor shape with those 2 fingers, and then it moves over to the G chord. So you move your middle finger over there, and then you move to a D chord. Of course, our D chord is usually done like this, but we're keeping our pinky planted. So again, in this case, instead of having to split your fingers, really only your first finger has to move down to the 2nd fret of that string. And then the next chord after that is going to be the A sus4. And so similarly with an A, we have our 3 fingers like this, but these 2 fingers stay planted. So all you need to do is you move your first finger up and then add your middle finger while these 2 fingers stay put. So in order, starting with E minor 7, 2 strums, moving over to G, moving to the D sus4, then to the A sus4. E minor, G, D, A. And those 4 chords repeat quite a bit throughout this entire song. So now playing this at a higher tempo, play it along with me, doing all downstrokes with the right hand. Count it off, 1, 2, 3, 4. E minor, switch to G, switch to D, switch to A, E minor, switch to G, switch to D, switch to A, back again. Give you lots of time to switch. Remember here in your head, switch, and switch, and switch, and switch. So next we move on to the verse 1. It's the same 4 chords we've been playing, except it's repeated for 6 bars, and then at the 7th and 8th bar, we see a change in the pattern, where we play a C add 9. Now C add 9 looks like a G, except your 1st and 2nd finger are 1 string lower. So if that's a G, that's a C add 9, and you only strum 5 strings, as you would for like a C chord. Alright, so from there we move from a C add 9 to the D sus4 that we've been playing, keeping those pinky, your 3rd and pinky finger planted. 2 strums each. So C add 9 to the D sus4. Alright? So finish that off. So that's bar 7. C add 9 to D sus4, back to the A7 sus4. Alright, and for that we're going to strum 4 times. 4 downstrokes for a full bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. So for just those 2 bars right there, we're looking at bar 7 and 8 of the verse. We have a C add 9. We're going to do a D sus4, going to an A7 sus4. So we'll just work on the last 2 bars and we'll put it all together. So we have C add 9, D, and the A. 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that we've broken it down, let's add it to the sequence. So let's just try from the E minor 7. So we'll play E minor 7 to G to the D to the A. Now we'll move to C add 9. To move from the C add 9 from the A7 sus4 is real easy. All you got to do is move your middle finger up. That first finger stays planted. So if that's your A7 sus4, that's your C add 9. All right. So from the C add 9 to the D to the A. 2, 3, 4. So that whole sequence of verse 1 would look like this. Starting from verse 1, 3, 4. Switch to G, switch to D, switch to A, now you're back again, repeat it all. We do this one more time. Okay, now we're about to move to the C add 9 and switch, then to D, then to A. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to jump to the pre-chorus, where we'll find actually there's a really tricky sequence in there we haven't tried before. We'll break it down into the 2 parts, but first I'll play through the pre-chorus so you hear the changes. So it starts on a C add 9, moves to a D and then an E minor 7, and does that 3 times. So starting on a C add 9, 2, 3, 4. Switch to D, then to E minor 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. C, switch to D, E minor 7 for 4 bars. Again, our 2 fingers don't move. Go to D, and here we go. Okay, so that was the whole pre-chorus. You'll see there that the first 2 bars are C add 9 to the D sus4 to the E minor 7. So it's really not that challenging. The same thing as before. Those 2 fingers stay put. We have C add 9 for half a bar, so 2 strums. 1, 2, and then we move over to the D sus4 for 2 beats. 1, 2, and then we're back to the E minor 7 for a full bar. So that's 4 strums. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it repeats that twice. So we go from the C add 9 to D to E minor 7. Does it again to E minor 7. Okay, then the next bar after that, we see the same 2 changes from the C add 9 to the D sus4. But this is where it gets tricky. So this will be the second part we can break down. We're going from a G to a D, so our pinky finger is going to come off for that. So that's G, D. 1 finger is still the same, so that finger doesn't move. Your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret, but your pinky will come away. So G to D, from there to the E minor 7. So we're going to put our pinky back, 2 fingers move up. So that's D, pinky goes down, 2 fingers move up. G, D, E minor 7. G, D, E minor 7. And then we move back to a G to complete the bar. So it all moves fairly quickly. Go from a G to a D, E minor 7, G. So I would just take a second to practice that a few times. G, D, E minor 7, G. Rest. 2, 3, 4, G, D, E minor 7, G, and rest. From that G, you're going to move finally to an A7 or sus4, the A chord. Again, these two fingers don't need to move at that point. They'll stay put, and that'll get 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to try playing through the whole pre-chorus right now. Play along if you like. We'll keep it at a slow tempo. So at the beginning of the pre-chorus, starting on the C add 9. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. Go to the C, go to D, then to E minor. Here we go. Think of the changes. We're going to go to G. Here we go. G, D, E minor, G, A7. Okay, lastly, we're going to break down the chorus. Now, the chorus is fairly simple. If you've gotten through the rest of the song, this should be a piece of cake. So your chords are C add 9, go into the E minor 7, and then to a G, then back to an E minor 7. And then that sequence gets repeated over 8 bars. So starting from the C add 9, 2 strums, switch to E minor, then to G, back to E minor. And that whole sequence repeats. C, E minor, G, E minor, back to C add 9. Remember, you got lots of time to switch between these chords.